Hey guys, welcome back to some more AFK Arena. Today we're back over on our YouTube account. We have another 6,000 diamonds, and this is the first log on from the reset last night. Now overall, I did pop a poll up there on exactly who we want to build. Now what's happening, or what we're seeing a lot of times, like we've talked about before, is when it comes to the Draconus heroes, we're not seeing the ability to actually build them out, because we're missing the cutest little Draconus in the world, which is Gorgie. Of course, we don't have copies to build out the rest of the heroes, even though we have some at Legendary Plus. We cannot build them up any further, unfortunately, because of these heroes. And guys, thank you for joining me for the early stream. We are on a little bit early today, have something that's going on a little bit later with the birthday party. So let's see, guys. We have Crane is here, Ali and Ryan is here as well. Definitely want to come in here, want to pick up some of our scrolls. We have Luis in here, Simon is here, and Soul as well. Again, guys, thank you guys for joining me. So overall, we know as of right now, just a quick recap, that we built out Nyla. Now when it comes to gear, specifically looking at these heroes, if you're looking to pick up the Draconic gear or the Draconus gear, the only way you can buy it is number one, if you're purchasing it for real money, you can actually get some chests out of there to buy it. Number two is from the Dragon Forge. Now, because of the impact that we have with gear, I do not advise buying it by any means. Skip the gear in the entirety. I would much rather have a hero to build, to develop, to have, to use than I would for gear at all, which is the reason why I would go ahead and build these out. Now, if you caught the video that I put out last night, gearing up these heroes, putting collections on them, a lot of players have said it makes a really big difference when it comes to the Dragon Forge, and a lot of players that were struggling with the Dragon Forge actually were able to build them out a little bit higher and be able to make a little bit more progression. Is it pre-recorded? No, it is not, Ruben. This is our Sunday live stream like normal. What is going on, Darren? Is Nyla worth 40 signature item? Right now, I would say no. The reason being, when you look at the plus 40, gains increased healing and takes less damage from allies and enemies carrying bubbles. Effectively, that might increase a little bit of the utility of the hero with the survivability. But overall, a lot of game modes, looking at the Curse Realm and the Nightmare Corridor, not really going to have a huge effect. I know you do get some additional stats by building it out, but the sheer cost of these heroes, I would wait, because again, thinking big picture, Luis, is looking at our highborn heroes. So looking at Gwen and also looking at Hildwyn, they are kind of the best of the best heroes that we're seeing right now. But we know there are going to be more Draconus heroes that are coming probably the remainder of this year, which is a reason why some players have chosen to save all of their resources. They are not doing any summons. They are not doing anything with any of the resources essentially that we get in out of here. But ultimately, if you're not getting the heroes, if you're not building them up, chances are you're not going to be able to make a lot of progression within the Dragon Forge, meaning you're missing out on all the loot. Now, overall, when it comes to the heroes that are in there, that could even mean weeks or months of not being able to make progression in the game mode. And again, our tutor, or we're going to go ahead and terminate our solemn vow, because of course we always kind of lose people in there. But overall, when you're going in there and you're making progression, you want to make sure that you're getting the heroes. And I honestly think, like earlier, getting the heroes is going to make a big difference, because you have the ability to get the loot out of the Dragon Forge. If you're not building them up, or if you're not getting those heroes, you're not going to be able to make the progression. What's going on, Tushar? And Tazdid is here as well. Is it better to level the 3 common heroes together or at one time? I can get Mythic 1 or Legendary Plus to all. I focus one at a time, Jason. And the reason being the sheer cost of the heroes. So that's the big thing, is when you look at the cost, similar to the primary factions, the Celestials, the Hypos, the Awakened heroes, I build one out at a time, because if you're splitting all of your resources, and I don't know exactly for the Dragon Forge, Jason, if that's really rings true. A lot of players are saying you need a lot of these, including Polina built, having Cassius built. And again, looking at Gwen, looking at Hildwyn, even some of the players that are on stage 9, stage 10, they have a very basic version of the heroes. Some of them, of course, do have them built, but overall, it seems like a basic version is working pretty well. Same, I'm unlucky with the polls. Yes, absolutely. Thank you, brother, so much. Much appreciated. Oh, you're welcome, Jason. Yeah, I focus build them. That's the reason why we built up Nyla. Now, one thing to remember is there is, and we've kind of seen this over on Discord and a couple other places, with the wish list. So if you put one hero in here, the probability, I believe it goes up to around 40%. If you put 2 heroes in here, so essentially one hero, you have a much, much greater chance to pull this one single hero. If you put 2 heroes, I think it was around like 36%. If you put all 3 heroes in here, the chances or probabilities go to 33% because it's split each way, which is the reason why a lot of players are only doing the 1 hero in here at a time. You do have a chance to pull the rest of them, which we proved last week with the live stream. You do have a chance to pull the other ones, but if you're looking to build out one specific hero, just like we did with Nyla, you will actually have a much greater chance if you're just putting 1 hero in there at a time, which is really cool. Why do you say that Gwen is better with Hilduin? So the big thing, Asta, in what we're seeing, again, if you caught the video, it's 2 different heroes. So in my opinion, when I look at the heroes, Gwen does a lot of damage. Gwen does a lot of crowd control. Are they better? They're different. And that's something to remember is when you look at Gwen, you're looking at crowd control, you're looking at damage. That is the reason this hero is kind of built out, does a lot of damage, does a lot of crowd control. Now, when you look at Hilduin, Hilduin is a different hero. So to say that one is better than another, it's like saying that Lavatoon is way better than another support hero, or, you know, a tank is better than another tank. Hilduin is very tanky, has a lot of support aspects. On the mage side, does have a lot of support aspects, like we've seen traditionally with like a Gavis. He's right along that sidelines, and utility-wise, and again, just thinking bigger picture utility-wise, Hilduin is probably and does probably have a lot more utility than we're seeing with Gwen. So that is definitely something to remember, and kind of what Asta was saying. Hilduin will have more utility than Gwen because of the build, because of the ability, because of the shields, because of the breaking up the shields. Hilduin is going to have more utility for Gwen, where Gwen is going to be a much higher damage dealer. You're not going to see the big numbers out of Hilduin, which you'll see out of Gwen, but you're not going to see the protective ability and capacity out of Gwen that you will see with Hilduin. So again, saying one is better than the other. Now, me personally, I went ahead and I built out Gwen because I want the damage dealer. Hilduin we're getting copies of. Is it right or wrong? Honestly, too early to tell. We're seeing Hilduin actually used in formations. We're also seeing Pulina actually used in formations. So it's going to be interesting because as of right now, Gwen is not being used. So one better than the other. Again, it's kind of either or because you're putting 2 entire different classifications for heroes. To say one is better than the other, I like Gwen because we're getting all the copies of Hilduin. I figure we're going to build out Hilduin naturally. Might have to do some summons in there. So essentially, if you build out Hilduin, you're not going to have Gwen, and kind of vice versa in there. These dragons are not free to play friendly. Yes, absolutely. And I agree with you in your entirety. They are not free to play friendly. But overall, the big thing to remember when you look at these, Ali, is if you're not putting money into AFK Arena, they are not meant to be just like an AFK game. They are not meant to be built out day one. You have to remember that. These are not heroes. Of course, with 5 new heroes, you're not focusing Desire Hero Summons. You're not focusing on one specific hero. This is meant to be built out essentially over an extended amount of time, which is exactly what we're seeing. Again, it's not going to be a race. If you want to go in there and actually get them or build them out, it's going to be time or it's going to be money. Those are kind of the 2 big things there. Your older one is pretty evolved. Did you also summon for him? So no, I got 1 copy for free. So we were doing our regular summons and we pulled a copy of Hilduin. Now I know there are more copies of Hilduin coming. Also, I believe it was one of these that gave us, so right here, another copy of Hilduin is coming out of there. So we'll actually be able to get a few more copies. And then I believe out of the event we have right here was a copy of Hilduin that we got the free one for building them up. And again, when we started doing the summons, we actually got a free copy of Hilduin just out of summons, just out of the regular summons. We got a free copy of Hilduin. Now, of course, if you're building them up, they're giving you a pretty good incentive to build out Hilduin, which means that if we did build them up, and just like Asta said, Hilduin is a lot easier to build because they're giving us a ton of copies, meaning the sheer cost of building out this hero is going to be much, much lower. Only issue is, Gwen dies super fast. Guys, if you have used Gwen, if you've used Gwen in formations, Gwen is literally a glass cannon, meaning that similar to what we see with a few other very, very high damage dealers, if she gets damage or takes damage, it's pretty much game over for the hero, which might make it a little bit different. Gwen's way too squishy, but Hilduin is insane damage, not bad at all. Yeah, the damage was pretty good. When we tested them out, Hilduin didn't do as much damage, but again, he's really big when it comes to the defensive capacity. What's going on with her? Probability is about 60% with one hero. If you have Nyla, 2 stars, thanks, Hippo. Oh, you're welcome. For the Awakened hero, should I go for Sophia or Gavis or wait? I would wait at this point. Honestly, Darren, I would wait at this point just because we don't know. There should be an Awakened hero that is coming very, very soon. So I definitely want to see. I use Aethys plus Hilduin plus Tamaris. Yeah, there's a couple. So if you remember, even looking at the crowd control that Gwen does, if you're putting Gwen in a combination with Khazard with the duration extension, you can actually lock down a majority of the teams, which is kind of crazy. Awakened Shamir Lavatoon, any Dracona. Yeah, and that's it. So again, you got to take the heroes with a grain of salt. We have to wait to see exactly where they're going to be used in a bunch of different game modes. We know they are coming. Let's see if we have anyone on here. One day. So everyone is still in there and still pretty active. So Dragon's Howl, we know this, of course, is our 2 skins. A lot of players bought the Daemia skin. Oden's skin is coming out for free. But I want to hop in here. Like I said, and last time we did super chats, we got quite a bit in super chat. So we're going to, got another gift card. We're going to go ahead and do some summons in here, but I want to make sure that we're completing all this. Now, of course, out of here, the Dream Store, we bought all of our insignias and we did buy our scrolls, just kind of going through there. In the guild store, we're not going to have the ability to get the Draconic gear, and then everything else is just to really build out and develop the heroes, short of the Dragon Isle, because even now, when you think about the Dragon Isle, there's not really anything to do in here, especially if you're sitting in the Forge. I mean, you have another 6 days where essentially you can do summons, you can make some progression, but the Dragon Forge or the Dragon Horn, the Dragon Forge is going to be pretty much just locked with what we do have. So we're going to be kind of stuck building out heroes as they are. And again, we're kind of wondering exactly where the summons are going to come in. So we are going to focus on building out Gwen. Gwen, of course, a little bit higher on there. But I do want to pull out and I want to get some of these scrolls because essentially, and what I'm thinking, talking to a lot of other players, is if we're picking up these scrolls out of here, again, I'm not too worried about the gear for the heroes. I'm not worried about building them out because we already do have a lot of resources, but being able to do the summons, we are going to get the scrolls because the big reason for this is if you have Pulina, if you have Cassius built out, you're going to make more progression when it comes to the leaderboard, when it comes to actually being able to complete the trials. And I really think once you get higher in the trials, if they keep it as it is today, this is going to be very, very simple because you're going to go back to 5, you're going to push all the way to 10, you're going to be stuck at 10, and you're going to be there again. But looking at some of these heroes, like I was saying earlier, we have a very, very basic copy of Gwen right there, which is doing very well in the towers. A lot of players are building out, again, Hilduin that we're seeing more of a build of, but then looking at Pulina and looking at, Cassius and looking at Nyla, they are really being a very big game changer in this game mode specifically because the draconic effect that you're seeing in here. So if you're focusing on the summons and you're building them out, it is making a big difference. Yeah, Nyla's pretty broken. And Nyla, again, doesn't seem like you have to have quite the build out, even with the build. Even my fully built Gwen is dying fast. That is the thing. If you do not have something that is 100% protection, for Gwen, she is getting crushed. The next awaken for the Maulers, I hope so, Ali. That's what a lot of people are saying. Level 7 Dragon teams of the Dragon Forge. So very easy, MC. If you go in here, this is the easiest way to actually do this. Go to trial number 7. Most players don't realize that you can actually do this. Scroll all the way to the bottom. This is where I usually look because you're going to see a lot of different teams. Go into their high there. So the player is high there. Look at what they're using. So we see Gwen in there. We also do see Cassius in there. We see Pulina in there. Nyla is in there. And the Highborn right there. Hilduin is in there. See what heroes you have kind of based on the build in here. Because it is going to be very, very dynamic or very different from account to account. Depending exactly what you have in there, MC. So that's why it's kind of hard to build. So the question is Hildwyn or Gwen? So personally, and this is going to be my personal opinion, I am building out, and we've been building out Gwen. However, with that being said, Mason, I think for a majority of players, it is going to make a lot of sense to build out Hildwyn, again, because of the ability to essentially get a ton of copies of him with the insignias that we're getting, all the free copies of him. And again, utility-wise, I feel like Hildwyn is going to be much higher on the utility-wise. Building him out, of course, is going to be easier. Building him out is also going to be a lot cheaper for a majority of players, which is the reason why, yes, I would really recommend building out Hildwyn because of the sheer cost. So let's hop in here. I want to grab some of my daily loot. And of course, we're lucky because Ducky came up. If you guys don't know, right here, the Fun in the Wild. This is a pretty good purchase because you'll see, we'll go ahead, we'll get 10 of these. And again, we put some of the super chat in there. Oh, it's not going to remember it again. I don't know why it does this. So let me pop this out. You're going to see my dragon just hanging out right there. Let me go ahead and I'm going to save this. I don't know why it keeps doing this. So as we do our purchases, it keeps asking me for the password. And unfortunately, if I type the password, it does show the password up there in chat. There we go. So we want to verify. We'll go ahead and pick up our Fun in the Wild bundle. This one gives you a lot of diamonds. So you see Ducky will go crazy here for a minute. Brrr. There we go. So for $5 right there, we got 10,000 diamonds for $5. And then of course, this one, we're going to do the same. Then we'll buy some Draconus scrolls. We're going to get it finally cleared trial 9. Very nice. Trial 9 and 10. It seems like it's pretty easy. Is Bubble Good a name for Nyla? Yes, absolutely, Peter. And there we go. So there is 40 of our fun feed. Watch the duck go crazy. And of course, here comes the diamonds. And it is boom. Look at that. That is absolutely crazy. Yeah, Nyla is pretty broken. Even at a basic build, Nyla is pretty broken. I'm enjoying Nyla in the Temple Rift and PvP. Yeah, exactly. For the normal ones, it seems. Now, Eldron, do you have Pulina? So that's the question. And look at the diamonds. I love seeing that. And of course, we get this every single day. So we'll get another 5,000 out of there. Now, the big thing is a lot of players have said that Pulina is a little bit crazy. And look at that. There is the streaming luck, guys. We get the big reward with the pull in there. That is a what? Crazy amount of Poke coins in there. So we do get the cards. Congratulations. Custom Mythic Furniture Scrolls. There is another 2, which is the big rewards. We get our fireworks out of there. Grand prize wheel has been drawn. Let's go ahead and refresh that puppy. And we also got, it looks like, some more Poke coins out of there. Very cool. So that was awesome to see that we finally got it. I know most players say that they never pulled it. We only had 3, I think, that we had in there. But remember, we are going to pull, and I want to build out some of these. So let's pick these up. Marlena has a, what kind of little face is that? I don't even know. It doesn't even tell me what that little face is, but let's pick these up again a little bit. I want to pick up some more of these scrolls so we can try to get Pulina built out a little bit more, even get Cassius built out a little bit more. And then, of course, looking at Nyla. Nyla is already done at this point. So freebie there. Let's pick up this one as well to stack up these scrolls. Now, of course, looking at Hildwyn, looking at Gwen, they're going to take, and the sheer cost, again, of building those heroes out are crazy. What do you think about the new season and AFK Journey? Kookie, I am super excited. So a lot of players are very stuck within AFK Journey. It's literally just kind of a grind that we're seeing out of there. I am super excited for the new season. I know a lot of players are kind of on the fence with it, but personally, I am very excited for the new season that's going to be coming. What's going on, Bobo? I can't beat Trial 4. Have you done all of your summons, Khalid? That's a question. Out of the 5 Draconic in a tier list, which one is best or worst? I would say Hildwyn Utility, definitely number 1. And then probably getting into probably Nyla. Again, we're seeing a lot of Nyla out of there working incredibly well. Then probably Gwen, maybe around there. And again, utility-wise, it's still kind of early where we're seeing them. But overall, I think Hildwyn is going to have the most utility out of the tier list. And I've been looking at and kind of thinking about the new tier list that we do have coming up, because we do the tier list every single month. Now, of course, we're not going to buy the copies in here. We're not going to buy the copies. And in here, we're not going to buy the copies. So, all right, so we got some bundles in there. We're going to have to see. And again, all of the copies because the medium bundles show up once you get them up to a certain point, just like you see here. Then, of course, the prime bundles come up as we continue to build them up even further, which I believe we have all of our resources out of here. So pretty good. I mean, that's a lot of summons that we're going to hop in here and do, and hopefully we can get those out. I saw a lot of players said that alone, since the Ghoulish Gallery, the game had only had bad updates. The Ghoulish Gallery was honestly a big disappointment. I really agree. The Ghoulish Gallery, it was a really bad update. Even how they've done it as of today with the Ghoulish Gallery, because having the ability to actually pull and get these arcane staffs are just, in my opinion, are just kind of stupid. Because it is so incredibly difficult to get those staffs, and then also to get those staffs on any kind of bigger scale to get, 10, 20, 30, 40 of those staffs is incredibly hard. The Ghoulish Gallery, I did not like. The Draconic Heroes, I love. I absolutely love the Draconic Heroes. But again, when it comes to these arcane staffs, when it comes to the collections, I don't even buy the arcane staffs. And honestly, it's sad to say, looking at the Ghoulish Gallery, I've went through here and I've done a couple of collections that refreshed, but looking in here, even looking here, since we don't have the ability to get any more of these staffs, which again is kind of bogus in my opinion. I haven't even been doing any of these pulls because, again, running through here, the RNG factor is still very high. Super expensive if you're building anything out of the Ghoulish Gallery, because essentially you're putting all of your diamonds to get a collection out of here, and the collection could ultimately just be garbage, which again is very sad to see. I have Polina and Nyla at 1 star. Polina is 309. Also seems very fun. Yeah, so not built up. So the big thing with Polina, and again, a lot of players were saying with Polina, Polina is a hero that is very broken with utility to go into different tier lists, which is really cool. I'm stuck at trial because I'm saving. Yes, and that exactly crashed what we were kind of talking about. So if you're saving all of your scrolls, if you're saving all of your summons, it is going to be incredibly difficult to actually go through and make a lot of progression because you're sitting on all of those summons. If you're not building out the Draconic Heroes as of today, you're going to be struggling with essentially with summons. In here, guys, the wish list stay the exact same. As you can see, we're starting to essentially build out all of the heroes in here. But of course, we can always get more heroes, and with the recycling of the heroes as well, we're still building up our Elder Tree. Draconic Heroes gave us a lot of levels on the Elder Tree. There's a copy of Braun. Now, most of these, I think we already have them built up to at least 1 star with Braun and a couple other ones. There is Kanisa and Rook. Very nice. I still like Kanisa and Rook. I think utility-wise, the hero did incredibly well and still does incredibly well. Kanisa and Rook, I like. I think Kanisa and Rook is a really good. And look at that, guys. We got a Taylene. That is right. There is an Awakened hero, which I like. I have Liberta 1 star. Is Lucilla good next? If you have Liberta at 1 star, you're going to build out Demia or you're going to build out Lavatoon. Those are the two big ones. But there we go, guys. There is another copy of an Awakened hero, which is very cool to see. Anytime we can get copies for free, I will definitely build them. Yeah, Lucilla is a good choice. But again, thinking big picture utility-wise, if you're getting both of them kind of built out, if you're looking at building out Demia or Lavatoon, both of them are really strong. Then Khalid, I would probably say Lucilla would be the next. Demia has an insane amount of utility. Same exact with Lavatoon. Both of them fall in the SSS tier. Both of them have an incredible amount of utility. Yeah, definitely a really good pull in there, Bobo. And again, I don't know if we have enough to build them up a little bit further, but we've been doing pretty well, and we haven't even done our Draconic pulls in here yet. So Stargazer, we are still looking, of course, to get our final copy of Kelthin. Could it be? No, it is not. We have, what, 5 more cards? And I'm going to use, what, 2,500 diamonds? Boom, maybe it could be just 2 more cards. So no copy there. Then, of course, Temple of Time. We're already at 645. Yeah, Demia is broken. Yes, Demia is very broken. And again, utility-wise, Demia is very broken. And look at that, guys. Taylene gets a build. Kanisa and Rook picks up another star. We're building them out. I mean, little by little that we're building these heroes out. So even there, the awakened version of Taylene, again, not a ton of utility with the hero, but overall picking up a second star just out of the regular summons in there. Same with Kinisa and Rook, getting double copies in there, giving him another star. So we are building out all of these heroes. And again, Pulina, let's do the dragon summons. I know this is what everyone came for. So we have a lot of scrolls in there. We'll be able to get some of the summons, but I'm hoping that they update a lot of this earlier content to include more essentially of the Dragon Isle, because if you're thinking about it, right now the events are going on, you're getting regular scrolls, we're pulling regular copies of heroes, and then of course the Dragon Forge, you can get some out of this Dragon Forge, getting some resources out of here, but now essentially with the Dragon Forge trials, we're waiting another week before anything. So essentially, we're going to be sitting on the Dragon Forge for another 7 days without anything to do in here. I think I can go through 8. Hopefully with the summons, we can get through 933 with 56,000 diamonds. Guys, we're going to have to see. We're going to have to see exactly what we can do in here. I feel like a lot of resources. But of course, the two that we're looking for are these two right here. I'm going to put Cassius back in here because we have a lot of summons. Yeah, Demia is broken like we were saying. I'm also waiting on one more Kelton copy. And what is going on? AH. We'll do AH. I can't read the rest of it. Hi, and welcome to the live stream. I built Liberta, then Alna, now building Demia. That's a good choice, Ali, especially if you don't want to get them out of the shop. You have any idea who to build next? I finished Demia, Liberta, Lavatoon, Bathiel, and almost Lucilla. Honestly, Crash, I would probably wait. When you look at those 5 heroes, that's a majority of what we're seeing right now for the Awake or for the Celestials and the Hypos. Save a couple cards, save a couple diamonds, see what is coming next. Mention the crossover, will there be a Dimensional Tower? I hope, Louise. We have talked about the Dimensional Tower for about 2 years now, and unfortunately, we're not there yet, but let's see what we can do with these summons. Now, Dragonheart Temple, we have 20. Oh, I'm on the fence with building out Hilduin, again, utility-wise, or getting Gwen. Because Hilduin, we could possibly get up to Ascended in the time frame. I'm gonna save that for a minute. See if we can get anything out of here. Is the Celestial Girl on the skateboard good, or should I just save them? So if you're talking about Melkery, that's the Celestial Girl on the skateboard, on the hoverboard. Yeah, that's Melkery. Melkery is used really in the Treasure Scramble, not really anywhere else, Petty. So it's kind of sad that's the only place we're seeing her. And I don't even know with all of the new heroes exactly how much or how long she's going to be used. And look at this, 1, 2, 3. We got 4 more of our little Gorgie. Gorgie we're looking for. I am hoping with the summons that we can pull a copy of some of the Highborn Dragons. Now there's a copy of Pulina. But again, we need so much food in here. It is incredible. So 1, 2, 3, we know the pity timer in here. There's just a single copy, which is a copy of Cassius. Come on, we need some copies of Pulina, but we need food. There is another copy of Nyla. Now, of course, Nyla, if we get extra stars on there, I am okay with it. And I don't know, I don't know if we can swap. So if we have a lot of copies of Nyla, can we actually swap within the shop for heroes? That's a good question. We're gonna have to see. I built Liberta Demia. Should I build Lavatoon? Yes, absolutely. Taz did. I would build out Lavatoon. What's going on, Primo? Yeah, it's an hour earlier than our normal stream. Again, we got some things going on this afternoon. Come on, where are these summons? Boom, we got a single right there, which is another copy of Pulina. I want to see the Highborn. We're going to burn through all of our diamonds in here too. Again, trying to get a lot of food. Don't remind me again. A double right there, guys. There we go. So Nyla and Pulina again. So Pulina, we got copies. Cassius, we got copies, but we just need food. We need food at this place. New player here, AFK Arena, fun to play. Also a new follower here. Oh, thank you. Thank you for joining us. Thank you for subbing to the channel. Definitely well worth it. AFK Arena is a blast, guys. I really do like it as much as I love, talking to you guys, streaming the content, making videos. It's still, to me, incredibly fun to play AFK Arena. I'm a newbie and I'm building Liberta first. Yes, Liberta is the #1 priority. Liberta, when you look at utility, when you start getting into the Stargazer, Liberta is the #1 priority to actually build, just because of the hero. It works. There you go. So you can swap dragons in the cart. That is really, really good to know because we can swap out some of the copies. If we get Nyla built up all the way, we can swap them in the card. That's what I was kind of thinking. I have Gwen Ascended. I don't know a good defensive team to protect her. Honestly, to keep Gwen alive, Shaggy is going to be a very, very high defensive team. Even thinking of like Atheist with some crowd control, it's going to be either a lot of crowd control in there, or it's going to be kind of building out crowd control or a lot of the mitigation. And both of those, again, are going to be very dependent on the heroes you have. I feel like she's going to work in a crowd control team as long as you can keep her alive, which there's another copy of Nyla. I feel like that's really it. More than 500 scrolls and 5 pure blood dragons. I think it's good. Yes, that is definitely good there. The Draconic hero built are hurting one thing, your wallet. Yes, absolutely, Peter. Peter said it is hurting our wallet. Like I said, guys, if you joined the last stream that we had quite a few super chats. We got some from Beans. We got some from Dennis. We got quite a few chats in there, which again, look at the summons in here. 20,000 hero coins out of there, but that is a lot. And they need to put Draconic emblems in here. Honestly, it would make a big difference if they did put Draconic heroes in here. There are some more copies of Nyla, but look at the food again that we're looking for. So I want to get Cassius up, and hopefully I have him enough to get him up to Mythic. Let's drop the rest of these on here. So there's Nyla up to 2 stars. There is Nyla up to 3 stars, which of course with the engraving going to make a really big difference. Now Cassius, I believe we need one more. But see, look at the food. Yikes. This is where we're getting kind of stuck. Because again, we only have the one hero that is the food. All right, so Cassius will be able to build. And then again, after we get him to Mythic, I'm going to go all in for Polina, which I believe at this point, even with Cassius, is we need, again, more food. This is where everybody is getting stuck because we only have double copies here, which of course we have Legendary, even Legendary Plus. That's going to make a big difference, just kind of building out the hero. And then, of course, I'm not going to use Polina as food. 1, 2, 3. So again, we have enough to add some stars on there. But we are back to needing food and needing a lot of food. Short of using their own heroes as food. That stinks. Are the dragons being used in any game mode? They're being used right now in the Cursed Realm. Mawa, or Mewi. They are being used. What is going on, Yoshi? Yeah, we got a lot of copies out of here. Now again, thinking of our heroes, we want to build this out a little bit further. And of course, when you look at Cassius, a very, very solid tank. It is kind of crazy when you get this hero built out, how effective the tanking ability is with this hero, which is the reason why we're building him out. Now, of course, in here, we need a ton of these emblems. We can't use our red chests. We can't use any of our epic chests. We're going to have to build these out ourselves, which makes it really hard. So I'm going to save these, knowing that we could possibly do out Hildwyn. And I'm also thinking with the ability to build them out, I think I might go in there and I think I might get Hildwyn. I think I might do a couple copies, a couple summons of Hildwyn with the insignias, just for the fact that I feel like we're not going to have enough to build Gwen out in the entirety because we're not putting that much into it. But like I was saying earlier with the Elder Tree, this has been leveling up my Elder Tree like crazy. When we're going through here, we've been leveling up the Elder Tree like a lot. I'm chapter 13. I can make Nyla Ascended. Is she good early? Should be. Honestly, Nyla early should work incredibly well in there. Watch your videos over 2 years. However, I've been to your live. Oh, thanks for joining us. And it's Urby? U-R-B-E-A, Urba. Thanks for joining us. I seen Valkyrie in the Draconic Forge and works well. So the big thing is, MC is building out heroes for a very, very specific kind of niche formation. There's a lot of different places where you don't have to use Valkyrie. You can actually sub in a couple different heroes. And again, looking at some of the formations, you can probably find quite a few where we're not going to see essentially as big of a build on some of the heroes that would work within there. Again, I don't like building out heroes that are very niche in formations where we're not seeing them used in a bunch of different places. I want the heroes that have a lot of utility across a lot of different game modes because of the sheer cost of building them in their entirety. So we got 2 summons in here. Maybe we'll pick up some diamonds. Maybe we'll pick up a copy of Hildwyn. And again, this seems like the only way that you're going to get these emblems kind of in bulk. But I'm wondering, and I like the animation here, guys. The animation here is really cool. But again, just some more resource out of there, which uses all 20 of ours. And then, of course, we have, what, 3 more summons in here. Let's see if maybe we can pull some more of this food. There we go. There's another gorge. Or gorgy. All right, so let's see. Worm Scale Sanctuary. Boom. That gave us a lot more resources. So again, we gain, what, 1 more level, maybe even 2 more levels, making these heroes just that much stronger with the attributes that we do have in here. Then, of course, the Dragon Forge Trials, it's going to give us, what, another 8. We have, what, 10, 18? So 18, we're already at 510. We could go 520. And I'm thinking, you know what, let's go in level-wise. I'm thinking levels for our regular heroes. Let's go ahead and build that up a little bit. Let's go ahead and raise the signature items a little bit. Rest of these, again, we're just going to have to save, but should be able to push a little bit further in the Dragon Trials. I'm thinking just kind of based on the heroes and getting them built out a little bit higher. I don't own this hero. I think it took out Pulina. And again, taking Pulina from an Elite Plus essentially to Legendary Plus, that's a pretty big power buff. Honestly, to go in here to build out some of these. And then, of course, getting Cassius up to that Mythic. Big difference. To get them all ascended right away, I did have to feed some extra Cassius copies. That's what I was thinking, Dom, I was almost thinking I might have to do that to a point. And it looks like Nyla actually died pretty quick up here. And of course, guys, the RNG aspect for this game mode is incredibly, incredibly hard. You can go through here, you can change up a bunch of different game modes, but even look at that. The very, very first battle, we just took like 75% of our damage in there. Everybody else has not even touched when the first team got crushed. We might have to, again, kind of sweep out or change up what this first team looks like. And we have a lot. There's Valkyrie in there, like we were kind of talking. Might have to change that up a little bit to actually get the teams to go in here. Now, the buffs, of course, make a big difference. Even there, boom. Now, Nyla didn't take much damage in that one. But overall, we are just getting crushed with our first team. So again, this is the point where we're in number 8. So looking at our leaderboard, and it's funny because this is actually a team that we won before, and we won this trial before with a lot easier formations. Now, if you're looking at the trials, when you start getting to these top teams, of course, they're really, really maxed out. So in here, you can see Gwen is the first team in here. Then we have Hildwyn. And then we have actually all 3 of our Draconic heroes, or no, 2 of the Draconic heroes in there to build this out. So we can definitely swap out some of these trial formations. And I'm almost wondering, let me swap out these formations. So let's drop this one up here. And then we'll keep, let's see how this one works. The 1, 2, 3. And again, kind of changing this up a little bit makes a big difference because looking at our damage, boom, it didn't really take any damage in there. So 1, 2, 3. And again, almost not taking any damage. This game mode, again, it seems like pretty broken at the beginning just because of the build. Now, 1, 2, we took double hits. Double hits in the last one. They need a repeat for this. I built a really good collection for Demia, but it's only level 2. Should I build a new one to get the level 3? For Demia specifically, that legend, yes. So the reason is with the ability for the level 2, if you're talking about the Mahira collection for Demia, that is broken, and that is the reason why it was super, super broken within the Abyssal Expedition. And it looks like our middle team and bottom team got kind of crushed right there. The level 3 was broken for Demia based on the Abyssal Expedition. Don't know if it's going to be needed or really used in future versions, but yes, it was absolutely required for the Abyssal Expedition. Should I swap my Awakened Taline for Awakened Baden or Shimira? Yeah, Baden is still broken. And I can show you what I kind of mean by that. Baden is still a hero in Cassius, it looks like. Might get through it. Oh, we got a double hit in the bottom. And again, the RNG aspect. But yes, the Awakened version of Baden is still being used in a ton of places, Swag. You'll definitely use Baden, again, in a lot of different places. Chimera, the exact same. Chimera, you're still going to use. Now, one thing to remember is with the Awakened version of Baden, if you can borrow a copy. So I don't know, Swag, exactly who you're borrowing at this point, but if you can borrow a copy of the hero, I would absolutely recommend just borrowing a copy versus building out the copy yourself, which again could make a big difference. And again, middle, this is just the RNG factor. They need to have just kind of a repeat in here. But of course, I feel like we can get through 8. We can probably even get through 9 at this point, so getting a little bit more resources out of there. But again, once you get through 9, or even if you have the ability to finish out 10, there's nothing else to do in here. You're literally just going to be waiting essentially for everything else to get some diamonds, get some summons. There's not going to be anything else, unfortunately, to do out of there. How can I get the level 3? So the only way to get it is, and I'll show you real quick, when it comes to building out the Ghoulish Gallery, to get a level 3, to guarantee getting a level 3, is going in here and actually having the ability to use this custom skill scroll. That is the only way, Legend, to guarantee that you're going to get it, is having one of these to guarantee. So essentially, what a lot of players are doing is going in here, and you're going to have number 1 is, of course, going to be Miracle Worker. Number 2 is going to have to be a level up. Now, some players are running the purple one, so the purple level up. So using all 3 of those in here. So using the Miracle Worker, the level up, which is guaranteed, and an additional level up to try to get it naturally. If you do not get it, or you can go in here and you can use something like the Dark Rage and then utilize this scroll, because what you'll get is unlocked with the Miracle Worker for the 2nd slot. The level up, the gold level up or the mythic level up will guarantee you get 1 level up. This custom scroll will guarantee you get your 2nd level up, guaranteeing 100% that you are going to get that collection in its entirety. And like I said earlier, that was the broken collection, which is right here. So getting the level 3 is the broken collection right here. When they take a single instance of damage, they sacrifice minions to mitigate the damage, meaning that when the boss scaled super high in the Abyssal Expedition, this was the mitigation factor. And then, of course, coupled with the hero itself, that kept all of the team alive with Demia, which was kind of broken. I could borrow from my Graveborn account either, to be fair. Yes, then absolutely, if you can borrow, then I would swap. I would go ahead and swap in its entirety to swap for the Awakened version of Chimera, because again, the Awakened version of Chimera, Treasure Scramble, a couple other places, swap Taylene for the Awakened version of Chimera, and then go in and just borrow that copy of Baden, which will work. If I have all Meadow Celestial, should I spend my diamonds on Draconic summons or keep them saved up? Honestly, I would probably go for the Draconic summons. And the reason being, if you had diamonds in there, if you're utilizing them, is having these heroes built up, of course, are going to allow you to essentially or exponentially build a lot more stuff within the Dragon Forge. And I feel like, again, if you're kind of slacking behind in the Dragon Forge, you're not going to have the ability to build out a lot of the heroes, which is going to make it a lot more difficult, essentially, for all of the heroes kind of going forward, which is the reason why, yeah, I would absolutely focus on, and we have 1, 2, 3, 4 Draconic heroes. I would focus on them to get the rewards out of there, because you also have to think, when you look, Kleck, at future heroes, future Draconus heroes that we see within AFK Arena, you're kind of ahead of the curve, ahead of the resources that you have in there to actually build them out. I was thinking about building Lavatoon, have Demia, Liberta, Lucilla, but I can merc him every week. The only reason, why I would recommend if you're building out Lavatoon is, 1, if you can merc another hero, that is going to be a little bit better. Or number 2, because he is used in a lot of other places, including the Treasure Scramble. Now, we know merc heroes we can't use in the Treasure Scramble, so it might make a little bit of a difference in there if you do have him built versus not having the hero built. But overall, that's kind of your preference at that point. If you save your rewards or save your essentially resources versus just borrowing them or building them, it's kind of a catch-22. Now, I did the same. If you guys remember when I had the Awakened version of Baden, I actually kept Baden, and I kept Baden for an insane amount of time that I just borrowed Baden every single week from my other account. Building up and kind of building out Baden makes a big difference. Some of your heroes have +9 furniture. How do I determine which to take further? So the big thing, Luis, when it comes, and let me do my summons in here. So the heroes that I took further, specifically past the 9 of 9 furniture, was to be and is to be competitive within all of the different game modes. There's a copy of our Draconus hero. That is the big reason. So the heroes that I chose to take further than the 9 of 9 were the primary damage dealing heroes within a lot of different game modes. So when we think of Chimera, when we think of Rem, when we think of Athalia, when we think of a lot of those really big primary damage dealing heroes in the Cursed Realm and the Nightmare Corridor. And look at this, guys. Hildwyn is on fire in here. We're going to have to, and I think they want us to build him to get some more free resources out of there. But like I said, the only reason or the way that I chose which heroes to build further than where we're at, so we have 7 cards here. We have 2 more that are already there. Storeroom is starting to stock up with a bunch of these. We're going to have to build a couple of these out. Let's go ahead and recycle what we're not using in here. And of course, Nyla, we already do have built out. We have enough for 1 more in here, and it is a mythic, which is a copy of Gwen. So again, we're getting a lot of luck in here with our summons, which is awesome to see. So looking again, Storeroom, we have what? 1, 2, 3, 4 for Polina already. 1, 2, 3, 4 for the Highborn. 1, 2, 3 for Gwen. Then, of course, we have Cassius there as well with a couple pieces. So we're going to continue building these out. And, of course, we do have a couple more that we already have, including the ones that we picked up in here. Let's pop these open. I also want to do some summons for our beasts because we do have a couple in there. Now, of course, rewards. And guys, the continuous progression of AFK Arena, we talk about this all the time. There is Pippa. There is a copy of Hogan, which again, all of those are just going to be recycled. Even down here, we're going to have to figure out exactly what we're going to do with all of our chests. So we have what, 5 stones here. Boom, we got a copy of Jerome in there. 1 right here, which is a copy of our Graveborn hero, and then again, more food. We have to figure out who we're going to build. We have a lot of epic emblems. We have 1,200 red chests out of here, which is kind of crazy. Yeah, like I was saying, with 9 of 9 furniture, that was really the big determining factor, is going in here and looking at what are the primary damage dealers that we're seeing within AFK Arena that we need to have to be and really push the envelope with damage. So looking here, even going through on our leaderboard, we'll check out Blossom because we love Blossom. But looking here, you can see we have right here, we have Nyla, and we also do have Baden in here. We have right here, we do have Amelia. We have Matria in here. Boom, we have Liberta. Liberta absolutely taking past that 9 of 9 furniture. We have Chimera, absolutely well worth taking past the 9 of 9 furniture. Looking here at Belinda, of course, higher damage in here is going to make a big difference. And then the Awakened version of Athalia, we actually have 36 of 36 furniture. Again, trying to min-max a lot of different game modes is what we are looking to do. And since we have 19 hours, I'm actually going to go in here and see where we can score. So going in here and new trial hero. This is, of course, going to make a big difference. So let's go free for 3 days. This means that we're going to have the ability to use the hero in the current trial because we only have 19 hours left. We're also going to be able to use the hero in the next trial if they require the Draconic heroes over the 3-day period, because essentially it's going to reset before we need another one. And all these we're going to build out. Now the trials, the regular trials we went through, we finished all the bountiful trials. We know that the Misty Valley is coming up pretty soon. Celestial Isles are also on the way. So we're going to have to see exactly what is coming with that, as well as the rest of the 5th anniversary. Can you show you what Riz teams? Riz teams are really broken with Belinda. I'm not sure if it'll show me. Let me take a look. So log, it doesn't show. Yeah, so the Riz formation, and essentially you're running the Awakened version of Belinda to fill out the Riz trials. And I believe players are finishing at around level 420, maybe even lower at this point. But Belinda, and then putting in Lavatoon in there, you can put in Liberta, you can put in Palmer does incredibly well, Jerome is incredibly well. Any of your buffers in there will amplify the damage that Belinda is doing. Even putting in, you could even put and I'm drawing a blank on her name right now, Rosaline in there to follow Belinda. Again, really big one. I don't really need to merc anyone else. I have the essential heroes built, so I guess it's better. Yeah, and I would say, again, if you're not using Lavatune in there, I would absolutely go ahead and just save. If you can merc Lavatune, yes. I believe there's an anniversary code. I believe there is a new code that is up. I'm going to have to check it out. I thought I seen it, and it might have been one actually that we already used. But I thought there was a new code I seen that came up on Facebook. I'm gonna have to check. I'm gonna have to check after this video if we do have the ability, or if we do have a new code and what it does offer. But I thought there was one up on Facebook, and it's weird because we'll get the codes, we'll use the codes, then sometimes even like a couple days later they'll pop up on Facebook. I'm gonna have to see, because that's where I've gotten a lot of the most recent codes have been kind of built up or have popped up on Facebook to go ahead and build those out. Now, of course, this gives us the medium build. So we do get some free resources out of there. We get some more summons. Same with Cassius right here. We do get some more, there we go. So we get some more free resources. We do get some more scrolls out of there. So we're building them up little by little. Does Awaken Athalia replace Belinda in the comp? Usually not. So they usually run independently of each other is what we're seeing. So both of them are running independently of each other. Belinda is being used in one. The Awakened version of Athalia is being used in another. And again, a lot of them are kind of vice versa depending on what you're building. Now, before I forget, I'm going to go ahead. We're going to throw up the gifting of the membership. So congratulations to the legend. There it is. So the legend is gifted our free membership. We do this every single stream we do. Even looking at the streams that we do over on AFK Journey, we do the exact same. Now, Dragon's Pact, I know I have in here, and I think I'm behind 1 day right now on the Dragon Pact. This is going to give you the ability to get essentially a free copy of the dragon that we have. So if you have essentially the Beast Resonance, when you get the free copy out of here, which is actually right in here, when you get the free copy, you can actually use that copy to Beast Resonance the rest of them, which again is kind of cool. Now, of course, in here we get a couple diamonds, also get some bait in there to build them out. Now, for bait, we have in focus, we have 1,900. I'm going to go in here and just use all of these. We also do have 4 of these. Maybe I can build up someone a little bit further, but once we got to 18, the beasts are not very important. So I feel like the Draconic is really the big, kind of a bigger money grab as of right now for AFK Arena, or to generate income, because beasts at this point, majority of players have all of them built out, which again, not really a huge push to build them much further than 18, because they don't get any more abilities. Even though they do get some more stats, we don't see any more of those abilities. And look at that, Alexander, a brand new subscriber. Thank you for subbing to the channel. We are coming up on, I believe, 38,000 subscribers, which is kind of insane to think, but we are absolutely getting there. And it is kind of crazy how fast the channel has been going with AFK Arena, with AFK Journey. It's been amazing. It's been absolutely amazing. So here we even have 3 more. So I'm going to pick up 3 more copies in here. Boom. That's going to be able to take 22. Now we're kind of building this evenly. So I'm going to go through. Let's use the intelligence base first. Boom. Just adding more stats based on the beast. And we're just going to go down line. We're going to go down and we're just going to continue building them until essentially the beast resonance level is increased. And that's why I was thinking going to 22 and then probably swapping them out, because we know systematically it went to 12, went to 15, went to 18. I feel like 20 or 22, maybe even 24 would be the next one to kind of build out if they add more beast, if they add more resonance to that. There you go. So there's the new code. So thank you, Luis. Yeah, I thought there was a new code. Again, I caught it very, very quickly when it came to essentially building those out. Yeah, we definitely, if that is the new code, I want to try it. I want to see what it is. I thought that is what posted up on Facebook. I'll throw it out in a message. So if you have notifications, anything turned on, I'll put it up as a message on the channel. That way everyone can get it. But definitely grab that out of chat right there so you can make sure that you got it. Don't miss any of the codes, guys. They are absolutely free resources. So Mystic Star Zone is done. So it is done. Oh, it's only a sticker. That's okay, though. We can use a sticker. Now, I know they have the big thing. I believe they have the promotion right now for the sticker, or they have a contest for the sticker. We're going to have to see. Even Treasure Scramble, we're at 89. So doing pretty good in here. With the Treasure Scramble, we try to stay at essentially 100 or less is where we're looking to, or where we want to stay. Feedback, of course, we get some bonus loot in here just for doing our purchases. Temporal Rift is done. So even going through here, we have what, another 150. We can get another card out of here. But the Temporal Rift at this point is completely done. Again, I don't really push the envelope. Hero Swap, we have another 22 days on. But everything else is done, just waiting for more content, looking for essentially being able to, and I'm going to have to farm out the Dragon Forge again, like we've done in the past. I want to get to 10. That way we can maximize essentially the loot we're getting out of there, as well as picking up some more of those Draconus heroes over the next couple days. Call it the tail end of the stream. Oh, thank you, AFK. Yeah, looking at the heroes, Draconic heroes, look at that. We have all 5 of them built. But like I was saying, I want to hop in here. And this is kind of a cheat way. So I go in here. We do this a couple times at the beginning. It's hopping in here. So right now we are number 4. So I'm going to hop in here and I want to grab one of these top performing. So looking at, took a shower today. Some of them we're not following, but ECL, some of them have the essentially some of these hidden. So we don't have the ability to get through there. But let's look at popular. Let's look at Blossom. I know Blossom usually has the 5th one. Let's use this one, deploy the mercenaries first. So that's going to go ahead, build all of our formations. Now, auto battle, I go for, let's say 10. Let's do 15 in here. Now, we know, again, with 19 hours left, I'm going to let this run 15 times. This eliminates a lot of the RNG factor that we have within this game mode, which is the reason why we do it. So I do my 10 attempts at the beginning, usually the day on the reset. I do 10 attempts or I do 15 attempts. This again can eliminate some of the RNG factor essentially that we have in here, making sure and really maximizing some of the heroes that we do have to really, again, kind of build them out a little bit further. And I'm wondering if, looking at some of the damage, there's an 84. I'm wondering if we need Kelthan built up a little bit further, because this actually put the twins in here, or excuse me, Adrian and Elise in here, which again, I don't have them built out super high. So we're gonna have to see. What VIP level? We are 16. As of right now, we are 16. Any teams to counter Awakened Chimera? Valkyrie. The Valkyrie team comp is the one that does counter the Awakened version of Chimera team. It is really the only one that I know at this point. Chimera versus Chimera, of course, can be very tough, but the Valkyrie team is the one that we do see. And I'm wondering if, 7 attempts, let's do 10 attempts in here and see kind of where we're at. We might have to swap out some of the heroes, and we'll do a couple. And again, seeing 82, 82, 83, 88 right there was a pretty good attempt, which again, we're running Kelthan in here. I feel like we need to build him up a little bit further. Let's do our 10 attempts. And I want to see his furniture, because I know here, challenge attempt left. Let's do one more. And if we spend some diamonds, honestly, I am okay with it. And it does have Braun in here again. Braun, we did build out quite a bit within the formation, because of course, Braun is going to get to the other side in here. Yeah, there's a 90 right there. So a little bit higher again. We're right on the cusp of 90. But I'm wondering if, where do we have? I think we have Kelthan at 2 of 3 or 2 of 9. Let's use one of these scrolls. I'm wondering if this is going to make a difference to the damage we're putting in there. And again, we could even go back, see at looking or utilizing another formation in here just to build them out a little bit further. But let's make sure that we equip this. And I keep thinking that's the Oaken. I know a lot of players have been getting confused on that one. There we go. So that gives them the 3 of 9. Let's see what it does with the 3 of 9 furniture. If we can kind of break that 90 envelope, we'll do 5 more attempts in here. And then, of course, we'll do the exact same when it comes to the corridor, seeing if we can score essentially a little bit higher in there without building out these heroes much higher. So Kelthan, again, a little bit higher in here might make a big difference, taking us over the 90. Yeah, Alexander, like I said, we're on VIP 16 right now, but that is 5 years of gameplay. So again, when you think big picture, that's kind of crazy. We've put a lot into AFK Arena through the years, but when you look at a 5-year game or a 5-year essentially that we've been putting, and this account, of course, started out as the pay-to-win account. This was literally the biggest account we had in AFK Arena and still is the biggest, not the oldest, but it is the biggest account that we have in AFK Arena just based on the heroes in the build. And we are coming up on, I believe, a trillion combat rating. I'm going to have to take a look at that, but I think we're pretty close to the trillion combat rating at this point. So definitely making, again, a lot more progression in a lot of the different game modes. And I'm thinking maybe, again, we'll have to go through and break down exactly if we can get a little higher, because we're kind of right there. Yeah, 988 billion in there. All right, so I'll do one more. We'll do the Nightmare Corridor. And again, doing the exact same. So going in Nightmare Corridor, we'll go ahead, we'll spend some diamonds in here. We'll set all of our formations based on what we need. See if by chance we can get a little bit more of a faster kill based on some of the heroes that we have. So again, we'll go in for 15. We'll spend our 200 diamonds. See if we can get the 3% or a little bit better. Just really based on the builds. And sometimes we do, sometimes we don't. Sometimes we get a really good attempt in here. Again, the RNG factor in here is really, really high. So getting some of the leaderboards, getting some of the results in here, yeah, this is a huge RNG factor. And also make sure that it kind of does it right. So we've seen a lot of times where coming through the game mode, and I want to take a look. Let's go ahead and stop the battle. Is sometimes what we'll see is this doesn't set it up right with how you want it. Even looking here at the first one. So it is following Scarlet, which of course you do want, but making sure that you go through, because a lot of these sometimes won't put the correct, essentially the correct collection on here. But when it comes to the time consumption, it's kind of silly with how much time and effort you can put in here just to get a couple percent more, which again is kind of what we see. So we have a lot of the heroes built. We do have a lot of the heroes built. So let's do 7 more and then we'll see. Hey, super sorry late, but I'm back. Welcome back, Wayne. Draconic is not SI40. So it makes a little bit of a difference. So that's where a lot of players said, when it comes to Adrian and Elise, the plus 40 will make a pretty good difference, but even being lower level still does pretty well when you look at the comps, because it still does have a little bit of the bonus if you have the plus 30 signature item. But overall, the plus 40 is kind of a game changer with the amount of damage that they're going to put out. So again, as we go through here, we look at different heroes and we continue to min-max a lot of the heroes we see in here. We're just going to have to continue building them up. I didn't want to build them up because I feel like the plus 40 is a little bit of an overkill for them. But looking at the red chest we have, we might have to build them up again, just kind of a little bit further. I got to Tower Floor 1000. That is awesome. That legend, it takes a lot to grind out all of those floors. Getting to 1000, and again, we're getting to the point where level-wise, we're capping a lot of these towers, but getting more engraving on the heroes, getting some more of the signature items, I feel like we could do a lot better probably than we're doing in here. I'm going to have to check with the guild, see exactly where we can kind of min-max a couple more things in here just to get some more resources. But all right, guys, so that is going to do it for today's Sunday live stream. Got to get ready for the birthday party that is going on today. But thank you guys for joining me. I love doing the live streams. It's so cool to go over AFK Arena. Got a lot of those Draconic heroes built. Gonna have to continue to build them out. Now, of course, getting the higher signature items, getting more copy, getting more food of this little guy right here, which is awesome. We need a lot more food. I might have to get to the point where instead of adding more stars onto a hero like Nyla, if we use the other additional copies in there, essentially to get food to build the rest of those up, knowing that we're going to do more summons, and of course, getting more copies of Hilduin. I'm hoping to pull 1 or 2 more, getting them up to Mythic, getting them up even higher. Then, of course, plus 20, we're stopping right here because if I'm building up Hilduin a little bit further, we're going to wait till we get some more copies, get them up to Mythic, take him to that plus 30 signature item, and then we'll see exactly who we're going to go ahead and build from there as we continue our progression into AFK Arena. Awesome. So we are almost again to a trillion combat rating, which is kind of incredible to see. But again, guys, thank you guys for all of the questions, all of the interaction, the support, all the love and support that we see from the memberships to the super chat, everything else. It is awesome to see as we continue our journey onto 38,000 subscribers, which is kind of incredible. So again, thank you guys for joining me. Have a great Sunday. Have a lot more stuff that is coming down the pipeline. And as always, thank you guys for watching.